This is going to be the most boring start to a TEDx talk you've ever heard. Ready? The company financials in Q3 were $5 billion. In Q2, it was $4 billion. I remember sitting in a business meeting, 4 p.m. on a Friday, watching an executive drone on about whatever that is. I thought, did he not see it feels like this? No. I realized I saw data differently because my background is music. Just like notes are the building blocks of music. Data is the building block of decisions. What I want to explore today is how can we communicate data in a more musical way? As a kid, I didn't want to be a musician or an analyst. I wanted to be a scientist. I loved breaking things down and building step by step. To ask my crush to prom, instead of just asking her, I built a robot to ask. I programmed it so when she looked in its little eye sensors, it would raise a sign that said, "Prom?" ? She said yes. But you can see how a kid like that is a bit different. I was bullied in school. People hurling nasty names, pulling my shorts down in the locker room, forcing me to do all the work and taking credit for it. I hid more and more of myself, what I wanted, what I felt, because others didn't care. Then I found music. By composing it, I could express myself. And it was strangely scientific. Consider Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star. In classical music theory, there are two main formulas. A major formula, which sounds happy. And a minor formula, which sounds sad. I could do all kinds of things, but those are the rules. And like a good scientist, I stuck with them. In college, I honed this craft and began to make music for short films. People liked it. I got in a film music program and things were finally coming together. For the program's final project, I wanted to be exceptional. I had a big vision where music and spoken text would mix together, theoretically great. But after the recording session, the guitarist came to me and said, "Chris, high concept pieces are good sometimes. This isn't one of them." I was crushed. One, because he was right. By approaching music analytically, theoretically, scientifically, it lost its emotion. But two, music was a raw part of myself I was daring to share. To see it lacked value meant I lacked value too. I left music. I went to tech, to the world I knew of data and science, and I loved how it let me be. Let me hide behind computers and screens, get this data, do this task, make this report. And people liked it. One day, though, I was in this unfortunate meeting where an executive kept droning on. I found it frustrating because this data was valuable to our company. Nobody could see it, though, presented in this analytical, theoretical, scientific way. I had an epiphany. This is the same mistake as my music. We need emotion. I sought research on this topic, and psychology had the answer, the dual processing theory of mind, which states there are two modes of thought. A quick, intuitive mode based on emotions, pattern recognition, and a slow, analytical mode based on logic, processing data. As an analogy, if you just used slow analytical mode, you would pay attention to every data point in this room. My voice, your seat, this stage, your neighbor. You'd go insane. Instead, your brain has intuitive mode on all the time, quickly processing, sending suggestions to analytical mode when things feel different. Like this. I'm going to play Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star. I want you to notice what catches your attention. Let's do that again. Right there. Intuitive mode goes, that felt different. That wasn't major or minor. It was something else. Hey, analytical mode, pay more attention. I'm going to keep going. I want you to notice what catches your attention again. Did you feel that? By using both modes, you're continuously emotionally engaged. I carried this to data. I started my own business teaching data communication. And one of my clients had slides like this. I said, right now, the analytical mode of my brain is laboriously processing every number. Everything feels black and white the same. What if I add emotional color? What if I said of these numbers, this is concerning because last quarter it had a higher value? Or what if I said this number is surprising? We thought process X was doing well, but looks like we should use Y instead. Did that catch your attention? By not just saying the number, but putting it in context. Happy context. Sad context. Concerning context. Surprising context. What the data means and what I should do about it. The data is more intuitive. When my client presented data this way, he said the story was finally clear. He closed the deal he wanted because both the intuitive and analytical modes were respected. This realization was not only pivotal for my career, it was pivotal for me. Because I hid so much of myself, what I wanted, what I felt, I ignored my emotions. Others took advantage of me. I didn't act. I lost a really close friend and didn't cope. But in one job that burned me out the most, where what I did was never good enough, I couldn't ignore how I felt. I decided to speak up for myself. I built my business, created a community. I married the girl I took to prom. After 10 years of leaving music behind, I'm playing it again. By using intuition and analysis, I'm a more authentic me, a more strategic analyst, a composer who uses head and heart. Even if you don't work with music and data, I invite you to consider the way you see the world. As a leader, do you make decisions with your gut or decisions based on evidence? As a doctor, do you tell patients their numbers or what those numbers mean? You need both. We can all benefit from seeing the world in an intuitive and analytical way. Thank you.